Good morning, children. Once again, welcome back. This is video part 2 of the lesson The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. So in video part 1, we have already covered the introduction about the author and the summary of the lesson in detail. Now this is the second part where we will be covering the character sketch and the theme of the lesson and the literary devices that I used. Now you have already read the lesson and you might have noticed, like, in this lesson there are not so many characters. There is only one character that is very prominent, that is the giant, and the whole lesson is actually revolved around this character only. The whole lesson is about the character of the giant only. And to consider, there is one more character that is, like, there is not any particular character but this children. So they also, but they can be considered as the minor character, because yes, children are responsible to bring the change in the giant's character, but they can be considered as the minor one. Okay, not the primary or the important character in the story. Okay, when I say important, it is like, yes, they do play an important role, because it is because of them that the giant's character gets changed, but we don't have that much details to sketch the character of these children. So children, as it is said, there is only one character, that is the giant. And yes, as I told you, like, the whole story is revolving around the character of the giant. The whole story is about the development of the character, the giant. The whole story is about the evolution of his character. So when I say the evolution of the giant is actually a complex character, in the sense, like, you can see in the beginning of the story he is very selfish, and the evolution of the character towards the end, that he becomes a selfless person. He is not a friendly person. He prefers only lonely and secluded life in the beginning. He hates children. Towards the end, you can again see the change in his character, that he becomes friendly, sociable. Okay, and in the beginning you can see, like, he's not compassionate. He hates children. He sends them out of the garden, and he put up a notice board over there telling trespassers will be prosecuted. But by towards the end, you can see, like, again change in his character, that he likes children and he breaks down the wall, calls them. So you can see in his character that he was not compassionate in the beginning, but he becomes compassionate towards the end of the story. And the other change and the other thing that you can notice is, like, he loves nature and he waits for the spring season to arrive in his garden, and like that. So actually, as it is said, the story is about the name. The title itself is given to the giant. It is about the character of the giant. It is about the change in his character. That's why it is said a complex character. Why? Because you can see two things: not compassionate, and then towards at the end compassionate. Not selfish in the beginning and selfless, not friendly in the beginning and then become sociable. So this is the evolution that is happening in the character of the giant. And there is only one character, but when you consider children, you cannot sketch the character of the children, because there are not as much as details provided. But yes, the whole story, it is only because of children. Like here, the innocence of the children also, it plays an important role here. Okay, because it is through children and nature that the innocence of the children and the nature, the beauty of the nature, it brings the change in the character of the giant. Yes. Now coming to the moral of the lesson, that is the theme or the message. What is the message of this lesson? So as it is said, the lesson is about, happiness, sharing, how sharing can bring you happiness. Like, Oscar Wilde, he is through a very simple and interesting story, The Selfish Giant, he gives us the inner meaning. That if we give happiness to others, we will also be happy in our lives. Just like when he gave happiness to children, when the giant gave happiness to children, only then he was happy. Okay, otherwise he was not happy. He was desperately waiting for the nature, for the spring season to be there in his garden also. Sharing. So whatever we possesses, gives more happiness when shared with others. When we are not sharing anything, it will not give us any happiness. That thing can give you more happiness only when you share it with others. And apart from this, this lesson also talks about friendship, the friendship of giant and the children, and which is considered as a divine quality here. And then it also talks about the negative consequences of selfishness, like what happens if you are selfish, like you will be punished, just like that. And then being selfish does not make us a better person, but having kindness makes us a better person in life. So it does not matter whether you own a thing or whether you possess a thing, it is not important. But when you are kind enough to share that thing with some others, then it will make you a better person in life. That is very relevant message. Like when you are selfish or when you possess a thing, don't ever think like you are perfect. Possession of a thing or possessing a thing will not make you perfect, but only when you have that mind to share that thing with others, or you are kind enough to share that thing with others, only then you will become a better person. Only then you are you are perfect. So that is the main theme of the lesson, that is happiness through true love and selflessness, and sharing of things can make you happy, and the negative consequences of selfishness also. Now coming to the literary devices, there are like literary devices, figure of speech, one and the same only. When the literary devices are used in poem, it is called poetic devices. And here we have personification and onomatopoeia. So we have already learned it many times and already discussed it in the other lessons also. So just a quick recapitulation of personification and onomatopoeia. So personification is giving the attributes of a human being, that is human qualities, to a non-human thing. I repeat, the attribution of human qualities to a non-human thing. It is called personification. So in this story, Oscar Wilde has used personification to its maximum. You can see like 1 or 2 pages itself where he described nature, like snow, frost, wind, hail. These are all personified in the story. I will just read out one sentence where it is written, "When spring came, she brought with her little blossoms and little birds that filled the entire country." So the spring season is personified as she here, because when she came, spring came and she brought. Okay, so it is personified as a lady here. And again here there is again written like when a beautiful flower unfurled its petals and put its head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry for the children. So like a flower seeing the notice board, okay, and then becoming sad. Again these things are personified here. And again you can see like many things that are here written, like the snow, frost, and the snow and the frost were the only people who were pleased. So almost it is not possible to explain each and every line, because these are all personified here. Because when it is literature, the writer might be using one or other literary devices in every line. Now coming to the second one, onomatopoeia. So that is the process of creating a word that phonetically imitates or resembles or suggests the sound that it describes. So when you say the word itself, you will get the sound that it describes. For example, he roared all day. So when you say roar, so it describes, this is the same line from your textbook. So here in this sentence, like there is personification also, there is onomatopoeia also. Why? Because he is referred to as north wind here. Yes. So so there is like so he roared all day. So roar it is onomatopoeia, because it is describing the sound. Okay, so it suggests the sound that it describes. Like we have discussed it in many other videos also already, like splashing of the water, when you say chirping of the birds, then in the poem Laughing Swan also we describe like ha ha he. Ha ha he is also like it is also onomatopoeia. So all these things we have already discussed. If any doubt, refer to the previous videos that are already sent. So children, this is the last PPT of this lesson, the selfish giant. Notes are already being sent to you. Please copy it down, or you can take print out and file it also. Thank you.